Welcome to another episode of Drunk Guys on Chick Flicks, the podcast that's only been good for our friendship.
Yeah, man.
No, I mean, like, because we spend so much time together now, and it's only been great.
It's an excuse to see each other.
It's only been great.
There's alcohol involved. Why are
you
you forcing that grin?
I love you.
Why
so
are
much.
you?
I love this.
This is like something out of The Shining. I thought it was nice, but now it's not.
Anyway, I'm your host Matt, and here's with me as always is your co-host Garrett.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
This is Garrett.
Oh, again. So you're just
Speaking.
gonna introduce yourself.
This is Garrett speaking.
Hi, this is Garrett too.
Hey.
Hey,
Imagine if there were two Garretts.
that's my nightmare. That's every bit my nightmare.
Well, I don't mean like a clone of me. I mean like a second guy named Garrett.
Oh, it's just like this is Drunk Guys on Chick Flicks with Garrett and Garrett.
No, with like Matt, but then there are also two Garretts.
Does he have the same personality as you?
I mean, I'm sure because we're friends, we've kind of morphed into each other over the years.
Anyway, what are we watching today, Garrett?
God, we're watching The Other Woman.
And why are we watching it?
Because I won the bet. I finally won the bet, thereby dethroning Matt from the last several weeks of torturous films.
For now.
This one is a movie that falls within the genre, right?
Sure.
That I have seen once, like a long time ago. It was like on HBO, and I caught the beginning of it, and I was like, "Oh, Jamie Lannister," and I just kept watching it, and
I've never seen it.
Really?
Never.
Okay, this movie is actually like pretty entertaining. We've got who we have? Leslie Mann.
It
right?
stars Cameron Diaz, Leslie Mann, Kate Upton, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau,
Jamie Lannister.
Sure. Don Johnson and Nicki Minaj.
I don't remember Don Johnson in it, but I remember Nicki Minaj being funny.
Okay.
But it's like, it's funny and it's like entertaining and it's like, I don't know. I think I felt a feeling or two. And I was literally watching it alone on my couch like years ago when this movie came out, what, 2014?
In your bathrobe, eating bonbons.
Yes, that trope. I am that.
Yeah, okay.
I am that, exactly. I love chocolate. Like that Family Guy joke. Remember?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because Family Guy is topical now.
Oh.
This movie came out in 2014.
Yeah.
So not that long ago, which is nice because we've been doing a lot of like 90s movies.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of late 90s, early 2000s movies. I also think it's good. Who directed it again?
Nick Cassavetes.
And he
also directed.
He's notable. He's a notable director.
Well, kind of. He's directed The Notebook, My Sister's Keeper, Alpha Dog.
But like Notebook, the holy grail of like this podcast. Like what we're gonna have to like episode 100 will be
100.
You hear me?
Woo!
It's a lofty goal, huh?
No, we'll get there.
But yeah, I mean he's the Notebook, and that's like
he is the Notebook. He's the book in the movie. He plays the book.
That's a beloved film within the genre, right? And it's like a respected movie for the most part. Again, within the genre. So I'm like, I think that's why.
Right, because
I think of this movie as a good movie, and it's kind of more contemporary.
How long have I been asleep? Right.
I don't know. I assume that's what the Notebook. I've never really seen the Notebook, so at some point.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
The movie was written by Melissa Stack, which I was looking her up after, like when I found her. She has written nothing else.
Really?
Like this is the only thing she's got.
Interesting.
Which is weird to me. You never really see that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
So this movie, from what I remember, I think I saw it like on TV like not too long after it came out, is about like a guy who's cheating on a girl, like his wife or something, with someone else, and then
but also cheating on her with someone else.
I think so. Like I'm pretty sure I remember it being like a.
Look, again, I've never seen it, but I'm just judging from like, the cover of the movie and like what it's Jamie Lannister is cheating on all three of these women at the same time. Is that not it?
You know that poses an interesting question, and we could talk about this more after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say like the top of the chain is the woman he's married to, and the bottom of the chain is like the most recent woman he's cheating with.
Kate Upton.
Okay, right. So that's presumably that I remember that being it. But I'm saying like even just looking at the cover, you're like, oh, probably that's the case, right?
Right. She's the new hotness.
Sure.
Old and busted, new hotness.
Are you quoting Men in Black 2?
Yeah. No, it's actually Men in Black 1. Come on,
is
man.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. All right. So, wow. So anyway, the interesting question is he cheating on Kate Upton?
Yeah. I mean,
is he cheating on her with his wife and other girlfriend? Or does that count? Like,
yeah, I mean, if he's establishing a relationship with this person
Right.
She doesn't know that he's in other
Well, I
relationships.
don't remember if she knows. I assume I think she doesn't know. But
Fair
we're gonna
enough.
have
Fair enough.
You think if she knows,
then it's not considered cheating because then she's
aware. There's no cheating. There's no cheat.
There's no cheat. She's aware of what's happening. But if everyone is unaware and they're in this relationship thinking that they are the only girl in this relationship, he's cheating on all three.
Then it's like a Charlotte's Web. It's like a Charlotte's Web of.
Have you seen Charlotte's Web? It's nothing. Nope.
Yeah, isn't that like the spiders cheating on the other spiders
with the pig?
With the pig.
Yeah. You nailed it.
Right? Isn't that?
I'm pretty sure that was Mr. Ed, but okay.
I have nothing. I have no knowledge of.
You having a hard time today?
I'm having a hard time today.
It's pretty early.
Yeah, this is the first time we're doing this like during daytime.
Day drinking.
So anyway, I don't think we have a bet.
No.
For this movie yet. So what do you want to do here?
I don't know. So I've been told by multiple people that they drink a lot.
I remember them drinking a lot.
Okay.
I don't remember how many times. I know there's drinking and drunkenness, like for sure.
Debauchery.
Sure. What is debauchery?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
No one knows.
Okay.
So what? Like how many times they get drunk, or how many times they have a drink?
Well,
wait.
That's up to you. You can pick drunk or drinking.
Drunk is hard to tell.
So if they're at a restaurant and having a cocktail.
See, but this is also difficult because, like, what if one of them is at a restaurant and having a cocktail?
This is why we're talking about it, Matt.
Just hash it out. Hash it out.
Hush.
Hashish.
That wasn't a hush brownie.
Are you quoting
Eurotrip? Yeah, it's so good.
Okay.
Put your clothes back on, white boy. So good. Oh, God.
Okay, so if one of them's at the restaurant and having a glass of wine, it counts as them drinking?
I think, yeah, so that's the only way to do it definitively. If anyone's having a drink.
Oh, God.
Is going to get up there.
Okay.
You get to pick first because you lost the bet last week.
That's fair. In terms of the bet of the same, whoever loses has to decide what the alcohol for the next show is.
You were so presumptuous there, and that you were like, so when you lose.
Well, you're going to lose.
So when you lose a stupid bet that we're stupid making.
You're bad at this, and I hate you.
Stupid dumb.
I hate you.
Okay.
So. Okay, so I will say 20.
Okay. To be clear, Price is Right, close without going over, you guess 20.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess 10.
That's way down there comparatively.
Yes. So, and again, just to confirm.
And it's only if the three women are drinking.
No.
Oh, it's if anybody's drinking.
Yes. That's what we said. That's what you said. If they're at a restaurant and one person is having a glass of wine.
I didn't mean together, the group of the three women. I mean like any of the three women are drinking. Like Kate Upton by herself is drinking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It has to be the three main characters.
Yes. Not like, Jamie Lannister's alone drinking a beer. It doesn't count.
Right.
Okay. All right. So I'm going 10. You're going 20.
I want to redo mine.
No.
It's fine.
You're locked in, babe. So, all right. So that's the bet. Price is Right. Close without going over. Great.
Because I lost the bet last week, I had to decide what we were drinking for this week.
Yeah.
This week this movie is about three blonde women who are trying to get back at their dastardly beau. Right? Is that right?
I don't even remember that they're trying to like get back at him. I think it's like a lot of the movie is them discovering that there's like cheating going on, but presumably like there's some sort of,
and they like probably like form a friendship or whatever between the three of them, right?
Yeah, they learn about each other.
Would you say that they're
formed.
Good-natured blondes?
I would, which brings us to our beer. Matt,
I got a beer that's just called Good Nature Blonde.
So it's from Good Nature Brewing, which is a New York brewing company. Good Nature Blonde. Looks, it says American Blonde Ale. I'm excited to drink it.
Yeah, I don't drink many blondes, so this should be nice.
The only other blonde I can name is from Great South Bay.
Also New York. We're from New York.
Blonde Ambition. That's the only other one I can name. But yeah, I'm excited to drink that. Was there any really trivia for this movie? I don't really think so.
Nothing really. They did say apparently the movie was originally rated R for their usage of the word vagina.
Which seems insane.
Right. And then due to a petition and 0 edits to the movie, it was knocked down to a PG-13, which I think is pretty funny.
But like, there's no like hardcore nudity. They're not dropping fuck left and right. Like, it's literally the word vagina.
Yeah. I mean, they may say fuck, but who knows?
But I mean, you're allowed to say.
Is there a rule about that?
You get one fuck with a PG-13 rating.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the word vagina alone is hysterical.
Well, yeah. I mean, It's anatomy. It's a part of a woman's body.
Yeah.
It's not a dirty word. Hey, it's not a dirty word.
I know. That's so insane. Anyway.
It's weird.
All right, so that's really the only trivia here.
Yeah, that's about it.
We had beer.
We did it all. We did it all.
We did it all. This was a pretty brief one because there's no Meryl Streep walking off set or...
What, trivia you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing. There's nothing good.
There's nothing... nobody else cast for these roles.
Apparently, Nick Cassavetes wanted it to be wanted Nicki Minaj's character to be a Jewish woman, and then saw Nicki Minaj on American Idol, and he was like, "Oh, she's funny. Let's get her."
I think she's like the secretary, so I don't really understand why either one of those, why it would have swung either way. But who knows? Anyway, if you're gonna watch the movie, I guess pause here, and as always, we're sorry for whatever happens next.
And we'll see you on the other side. And we're back. I have to say, right up front, I really enjoyed this movie.
I really like this movie. I think I liked it even more than the first time that I saw it.
I thought it was really, really funny.
It was really funny, and it was like engaging. It was like engaging enough. It kept you interested.
I will say that it's entirely, for me at least, it's entirely due to Leslie Mann.
Oh, I 100% agree. I think she carried the movie.
I think she has great comedic timing. I think like she's very endearing and like I don't know. I love her.
I think she is Leslie Mann in every movie.
Oh no, I agree. Yeah,
like she's just the same.
She can be a little more ridiculous here or there, but she's always the same person.
And I think it was great. Like I think she was the charm of the movie in almost in its entirety.
Yeah, I will say I thought Kate Upton had a lot more to do in this movie. I was wrong. She's kind of barely even featured.
She's in like the last 40 minutes, I'd say.
And even so, like barely featured.
Yeah, she never has much to do.
Right. Except for being like the young dumb one.
They do play that up that
right.
She's like there's
that one scene where they're all picking up like binoculars and she puts hers on backwards. It's never like emphasized, but if it's in the background, she puts it on backwards and it's like, oh, whoop.
Well, they're also like they're all planning later how they are gonna get back at Jaime Lannister, right? And it's like, well, I know the law, and you know all about him, and Amber, which is Kate Upton's character.
We'll find out what Amber knows.
We're gonna find out what Amber knows. Like it's pretty good. Anyway, so broad strokes, you like the movie. I really liked the movie. I thought it was great.
I thought it was pretty good. I would definitely put it above most of the movies we've watched.
It's definitely top half. Definitely.
Well, now that we're on an uneven number, like we had 8 before, so this is 9.
I think it's top 4 for me. I think it's top 4. If not number 5, like it's top 4 for sure.
Sure.
But we'll rank them. We can rank them a little bit later. Let's talk about the beer real quick. So we drank Good Natured Brewing, Good Natured Blonde.
Yeah, it was really great.
I liked it a lot. It's super drinkable.
I thought it was really like crisp and light. Like it's a good summer beer.
It was like a good like day drinking in the summer beer. You know, like
both
like
things.
It's daytime right now.
Yeah.
And it was good to sip on. Like we both we killed a few each, and
it wasn't ever a chore.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I gotta finish this.
Right. No, I kind of just kept going, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, we're done. Oh, they're all gone.
Like we switched to other stuff because we ran out of it, not because
Quickly.
We were desperate to not have to drink it anymore. You know,
like the Manhattans.
Like the lukewarm Manhattans.
I'm sorry.
All right. So, do you want to do plot in 3 sentences or less plot?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Do you want? No, you go first. I always go first.
And I don't know that we should break with tradition.
Okay, fine. I'll go first. Plot in 3 sentences. Man cheats on 3 women at the same. Man is. Hang on. Are you opening a beer right now? I'm gonna have to edit this out. Oh no.
Let's do that over.
So
there it is.
Man is a serial cheater and hides his relationships from everybody else. And this movie is about the women coming to terms with it and finding a way to get back at him.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that? 2 sentences?
I don't know. The second was kind of a run-on, but I'm into it. I'm fine. Okay. So for me, it's...
Oh, wait. I'll add a 3rd sentence. And also finding themselves.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know what? That's all I felt it was missing, and I totally agree.
Yeah?
No. I mean, yes.
No, wrong. Incorrect.
Yes, but I would say audience discovers man is cheating on wife and that he is a serial cheater. Wife and not the mistress team up to, dig into the guy a little more and find out about him. That's 2.
Yeah.
And then 3 would be they find the depths of his depravity don't just extend to cheating, but also stealing and lying, and they get back at him.
Okay.
That was 3. I don't think there were any run-ons, really. I think that was, like, pretty toit, right? Like, pretty toit.
Really?
Pretty...
Okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah, I guess that's fine.
Why won't you make eye contact with me when I'm saying the word toit?
I don't know. It just makes me feel wrong.
Like
inside.
we're looking at each other.
No, I'm not looking at you anymore.
When you see my mouth making that shape, you look away. Don't look away.
Never look away.
So I mean, but that's roughly it. I think we're both pretty much there. Oh, and also find themselves and each other.
There you go. Well, that's
right?
a fourth sentence, so it doesn't count. So
all right. Well, I mean.
Anyway, the movie starts like it makes you believe right off the bat that like Cameron Diaz is like the one,
the main love interest,
like the main love. Like she is like
she's his love,
numero uno,
his main squeeze. Is that a thing?
Not since the 50s.
His best girl.
No, still 50s.
I ain't got nothing else.
Okay. Anyway. And then we're introduced to Leslie Mann, who again is to me is the shining star of this movie. Which on initial introduction to her, they kind of make her look a little frumpy. She's like in a dumpy nightgown, and like pees in front of him and like is nagging him about stuff.
She's not even nagging. She's just kind of like
talking about like gross like things.
There's nothing.
His head was gonna explode.
There's nothing passionate about what they're doing. They're like very much embroiled in kind of a boring married life.
Right.
And it's in direct contrast to like the 5-minute montage that we see earlier, where Cameron Diaz is this very successful, like glamorous city type woman, like very well established, who he's like romancing. And then it's like, oh no, wait, here's his wife who's like really sweet seeming like she's never not super sweet seeming, but it's like, oh, like they try to make it seem like it's more boring or whatever.
And listen, at no point like when there's a scene between him and her, are you like, oh, he's a good guy to her. No, he kind of treats her like garbage the entire time.
Yeah, you're never like,
so
but
like,
at least he's good at home.
Right,
no, he's not. He's never.
He doesn't really hold up his end, like making like the illusion to his wife like palatable.
Right.
Like, does that make any sense?
Right. So, I mean, I think we should go back for 1 second and just say, so obviously the male lead in this movie is
Nikolaj
Coster-Waldau, who is Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I actually don't even know his name in this movie. His character's name.
I honestly don't remember his name either.
Mark.
Yep.
Is it Mark?
Absolutely. Yeah, it is Mark. So, Mark, I mean, Jaime Lannister, he's like a staggeringly handsome guy.
He always looks like Prince Charming in Shrek to me.
Yes, he does. But he is like, so he's a real life cartoon character of he's
got like that pronounced chin and like the hair drapes,
the flowing locks and all of it.
I mean,
like,
he looks great.
And he's super well dressed this whole movie. So like, I feel like
let's take everything aside.
Yeah.
He's super well dressed.
Yeah.
All the suits are great.
Crazy custom.
They're also like
suits.
cut to him perfectly.
Perfect, yeah.
Great suits.
Like suits that let you know he has abs.
But he doesn't have to show them.
You know, they're there.
He's a good-looking guy.
But I'm saying, like, he is a really handsome guy.
Sure.
And I think they do a lot of that in this movie, where it's like, even when they're on to him, even when they catch on to his shit, like, where it's like, oh, he's such a douchebag, but like so dreamy.
Right.
But so dreamy.
Right. There are several times that when all the women are in cahoots, when the women are in cahoots with each other. They're all having like a hard time not sleeping with him because of how dreamy he is.
Yeah, well, even like specifically Leslie Mann, right? Who's like, she's onto him, and she's still like, she's been friends with Cameron Diaz by this point, and she still is like, I'm gonna go for this, fuck it, like I'm gonna do it. Like, so they make a big deal of that. Anyway, you know, they open up, you think it's Cameron Diaz, then you realize Cameron Diaz is someone he's trying to romance while he's married to Leslie Mann. So you're like, all right, so this is the plot, right? It like lets you in right away. Like, hilarity will ensue, right?
Hilarity.
he is asking Cameron Diaz, and they establish this after 8 weeks of dating, to meet her dad.
Yeah, that's a bold choice for a cheater.
Well, for like, yeah, exactly. Like you're like, this is like your mistress, whether she knows she's the mistress or not.
Right.
And like, you're like, and I want to meet your parents. Take me home to dad. Like
They'll love me.
And he makes a big deal about it. And then he basically gets caught up, like, over-scheduling himself, has to go home for Leslie Mann, or I think has to go home for Leslie Mann. Although, he's not home at that point when they go to Leslie Mann. Anyway, so he basically bails on Cameron Diaz meeting the dad. Cameron Diaz gets really fucking mad. They have, like, a brief fight.
Wait,
she gets out of the car.
Who's Cameron Diaz's dad?
Oh, my God. Nash fucking Bridges.
Donnie Johns.
Don Johnson himself. Miami Vice Don Johnson.
Yeah,
That's really, like, why he's famous, right?
Can we talk about him for a second, too? Because he plays, like this weird lowlife. Like, he's a good guy, but he also is, like, found in, like crack dens and stuff.
Well, also, he's, like, super weird and inappropriate with Cameron Diaz, who is his daughter.
Weird and inappropriate.
I actually wrote that down. Like, they go to... Cameron Diaz goes to meet him after Mark blows them off, and like she goes there by herself to meet the dad.
No, check your phone, Garrett. It's fine. We're not recording anything.
Sorry, dude. Really important, popular guy. So she goes to meet her dad, Don Johnson, and like he's telling her about the young girl he's dating, and how she's like 24 and a dance major, and she has him eating naan bread, and she's like, "Why do you eat naan bread?" And he's like, "She's 24. I'll eat whatever she tells me to." I'm like, "Oh, gross! Oh, gross! Oh, gross!"
That is your dad.
That is your. And then a little bit later, he's like, "Fuck, I'm trying to find it." He's like, "Well, you like this guy? All right, we'll put on something sexy, go to Connecticut, and fix that young man's plumbing." Your dad would never tell you.
Right, but I think that I think that's supposed to be like an establishing thing that's why she's kind of cold and weird towards men.
Well, it's just like she kind of like we get the idea that she kind of runs through guys, you know, for one reason or another. She like sees guys and stops dating guys for, you know, whether it's big reasons or little reasons. Like Nicki Minaj, like, what happened to so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. So we get the idea that she like...
I will say I liked Nicki Minaj in this movie. I didn't love whatever voice she was putting on.
That kind of over-the-top accent.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Queens,
I hated it.
It was too much Queens.
I hated it so much.
I think it was Queens. I think it was supposed to be Queens.
I don't know what it was, but I didn't like it.
It was a lot. I don't think that's how Nicki Minaj talks. I don't
not well
know
versed
enough.
enough in the
I don't know
Minaj.
enough to tell you that that's not just how she talks.
I'm not a misogynist, so I don't know.
Good night, everybody.
Hey!
That's enough for it. You can find us at DGOCF at twitter.com. I hate you so much, Spanish flea. Yeah. So one more broad stroke thing.
Sure.
I wrote down, this is another movie out of like several we watched now. Makes New York look stunningly beautiful.
Sure.
Like stunningly beautiful. Like they're in financial district and like all these like huge glamorous corporate buildings.
I will say that I don't think that like a lot of movies are into the business of making New York look bad, unless like
I don't even mean bad. I mean like more realistic. Like, because it takes them like all these like a lot of these movies, especially this movie, like they take the most beautiful and like cute parts of the city, and on top of that, shoot them in the most beautiful angle or possible light or whatever the fuck. Like,
sure.
Like,
well, there's a part in the movie where later the three women are walking through Central Park. It is the same spot that Jennifer Lopez and Ralph Fiennes
walk the dog,
walking Rufus.
Yeah,
that's the only character's name I remember.
Right.
In Made in Manhattan, it's
right.
the exact same spot, and it's gorgeous. It's overgrown. It's all green and bright, and yeah, it's nice.
I'm sure we should like actually keep track of how many movies we watch like show Central Park.
We should also keep track of how many movies we watch recycle the same songs.
True.
Because there were a couple in this movie.
I'm coming. No. All right. We'll get to it. So just like general plot, like, you know, Cameron Diaz then goes to his house. We don't know how she found his address.
I don't know how anybody finds anybody in this movie because there's a lot of just like
showing up at people's doors.
All of a sudden, I know where you live now.
So Cameron Diaz is like on her father's suggestion, goes dressed as like sexy plumber to fix Mark's pipes.
Right. So are you telling me that Mistress what's her name? I don't even know her name in this movie. Oh, it's Kate.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was weird that it's Kate Upton, but they named the character Kate.
Well, Leslie Mann is Kate.
Oh no, who is?
Cameron Diaz is Carly.
Carly. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me that he tells Carly his actual address? Like,
I assumed that she looked it up.
Listen, I've never been a cheater. I've never been the type to cheat.
Right.
But like, I would imagine that's Cheaters 101. You never tell their real address.
Yeah. Like, she knew his real name, though, so presumably she looked him up from his name. I don't know. But she shows up at his house in Connecticut.
Are you assuming that there's a person who actually uses, like, a yellow book in this world today?
Yeah, like the internet. The internet exists.
What the fuck is the internet?
So she looks him up, and she goes, and then she comes to, Leslie Mann's door, and Leslie Mann answers, and she's like, are you, like, a strippergram or something? And she, there's this whole confusion. That's when they realize each other exist.
I also want to say that I thought it was weird. It was a weird choice, but also like kind of classy that Carly is like comes face to face with this guy's wife and is just like, oh yeah, I mean no, I
wrong
gotta
house,
go. Yeah,
wrong house.
Not just
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I'm fucking your husband.
Yeah, she didn't know like how to react, I think, so she kind of bows out. And then Leslie Mann, the next scene, Leslie Mann finds her at her office, and again, like,
how do you find her?
She doesn't know her name.
She says, I found your phone number in my husband's phone, which is great. But how you find
and then hired a private detective.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It seems like it's a day later.
Yeah, it seems like it's the next day she shows up at her office, whatever. So she confronts her. They confront each other, and then
There's a lot of confronting.
Without going into it too much, they basically become friends over the fact that this guy is cheating on both of them. Because in this instance, he's cheating on Cameron Diaz because Cameron Diaz is totally unaware that Leslie Mann exists.
Yeah, ready to introduce him to her father.
Right. And granted, they've only been dating for 2 months as opposed to Leslie Mann, who's been married to him for years and has, like, since she was 24, she says in the movie.
Since they were all poor.
And... Oh, like poor, like.
Oh, like the poors.
Poor.
So poor.
So she, like, but they're both mad, so they kind of become friends over that. And
I'm going to take a step back because it's around this point where the thing turns for Cameron Diaz. But like in the beginning of this movie, Cameron Diaz plays like this cold, hard, like bitchy character. I don't buy it. Every other movie that like I've seen her in, and she's always been like kind of a goofball, and like. She kind of becomes that later in this movie too, but like her cold exterior in the beginning of this movie is hard for me to like tolerate. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, she's like a lawyer. She's like she's like in her mid 30s and like a mergers and acquisitions, like corporate lawyer, like hard nosed sort of like. So I think between that and the Don Johnson as her dad thing, they like really trying to like hammer home that she's kind of like.
Are we not calling him Donnie Johns yet?
I was never gonna call him Donnie Johns.
I just feel like we should call him Donnie Johns.
Not
just
for
for shorthand, for like to make everything tighter and. Okay. All right. So Donnie Johns is her dad. Go ahead.
Nash Bridges is her dad.
All right.
Remember Nash Bridges?
Cheech Marin.
Oh man, so good. No one will get that reference.
Nope.
So. Nicki Minaj is her personal assistant who's like encouraging her to like go after the Mark or whatever. Listen, I don't know why she has his address. I wrote down a bunch.
Yeah.
Her dad saying put on something sexy, fucking weird. I wrote Leslie Mann is a delight so many times.
Well, she is. I said at the beginning, she makes this movie for me. Also, I've never been like a Cameron Diaz guy. Like I don't really get like what people see in her as like even as an like.
I don't love a lot of Cameron Diaz stuff.
Me neither.
Like something about Mary, The Mask. Like
if you were to tell me
for sure,
if you were to show me this movie and like put what's her name?
Oh, you wanted Elizabeth
Banks
yeah.
in like that in character,
the Cameron Diaz role.
In the Cameron Diaz role. This movie would be incredible to me.
Who knows, man? Who knows? I mean,
remakes.
I like Elizabeth Banks. I think more often than I like Cameron Diaz,
right.
But also like, you know.
But I think like same age bracket, she could play like the same kind of stone cold role, and then like become warmer towards Leslie. Oh no, I'm having a stroke.
Yeah, are you okay?
Leslie Mann?
So something just like as far as the actual filming of the movie went, we were talking about earlier the rating.
Oh yeah, this was weird.
They wanted to rate it R. Meanwhile, they only say vagina once. We only
Or at least as far as I've
twice.
noticed.
Maybe twice, but we only noticed vagina once. So for them to have rated this movie R based off the word vagina one time would have been astounding. Because there's no nudity, there's no really like vulgar shit, there's no like
there's a little like sexual innuendo, but it's really kind of downplayed.
It's so downplayed. Like they talk about it, but they never really show any of it. The one funny thing is
right when Leslie Mann and Cameron Diaz first like kind of come together at like Cameron Diaz's office.
Yeah,
they go downstairs
before they become friends.
Right. Cameron Diaz is yelling at her like, "Do you think I want to be a part of this? Like I don't care about you. I don't care." And she says, "I don't like this flipping thing."
She says, even if so and so rose from the grave and had a three-way with you guys, I wouldn't flipping care.
Right. It was just really bad ADR.
Which is audio dialogue replacement for listeners who don't know what the fucking ADR is. But
it was really poor, like, because you see her mouth really obviously mouth fucking.
They punched flipping in over fucking, and it was like, that was the only time I noticed fucking, so they probably could have said fucking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and still gotten away with a PG-13 rating.
What I said to Garrett was, do you think they use it a bunch of times, and they were like, oh, let's cut it out here because it's more poignant somewhere else. No, they never use it again.
Yeah.
Ever. And they could get away with one.
And I'm wondering if just if it was a rating system thing that they did it for, or if
Cameron Diaz just let it slip while they were
right. If she was supposed to say flipping, but in that moment she goes, "I don't fucking care," and then it's like, "Oh no, ADR."
We'll catch that later in the edit.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pop that back in. Let's see. Oh, Cameron Diaz I've kind of alluded to it, but Cameron Diaz is adamant that she is not a mistress because mistresses know that they're mistresses. Like she was just cheated on.
I don't buy that. I mean, not that I don't buy it.
I think honestly, I do think that's I think that's a point. Like that kind of goes to the question I asked earlier. Like, I think Cameron Diaz is being cheated on here as well, right?
I think Kate Upton is too.
But Kate Upton, and we're gonna get to this. Like, so basically, Cameron Diaz and Leslie Mann become friends, and they start like tailing the husband, and then they realize that he is actually seeing a third woman played by Kate Upton, Amber.
Of course, it's Amber.
So, who is Kate Upton and the character are both 22
I'll just call her
at
Diamond.
the time. Really? Diamond?
Who knows?
Diamond?
Yeah. Glitter.
Like you've gone from these are stripper names.
I mean
Glitter?
Amber?
Glitter?
Yeah.
No one is named Glitter.
No one's named Amber.
People are named Amber.
I'm sorry for all the Ambers out there listening.
There
are zero Ambers out there listening.
I've never met an Amber, but I've certainly never met a Glitter. Have you met a Glitter?
I've never met.
Know any glitters in real life?
Can I tell you, I've met an Amber?
Yeah, I'm sure you've met it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like people are named Amber.
Yeah,
but of course, Kate Upton is because it's just like young, and it's like I don't know. I feel like it's a young sounding name in this context at least, and whatever else. But like, she's like, oh, and like Amber, I guess. Well, like it seemed fun. Anyway, so they discover that Kate Upton is like the third, but Kate Upton admits like she's the third woman that he is.
No, I got you.
So
yeah, Kate Upton says that like Mark told her that he is currently married, but that the wife is cheating on him and that they're in the midst of a divorce.
Right.
I still think that that's because he lied to her about his circumstances. He's still cheating on her.
Yeah, okay. I will give you that. Because I think at first glance, I was like, well, she knows he's married.
Because if they're in the midst of divorce and like, whatever, like it's just about paperwork or whatever, then like to me, I'm in my eyes.
Right. It's not like I have this wife at home that I'm totally pretending to be in love with.
Right,
still.
exactly.
Yeah. You know what? You've convinced me.
Hey.
You win that.
Boom. Lawyered.
But you know what you didn't win?
The bet? Well, wait. Let's take it back because
we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the bet. We'll get back to who won the bet towards the end. But all right. So I don't know. It's good. So then Kate Upton basically gets in on it. She's mad about it too. And then the three of them formulate, a revenge,
a triumvirate,
a triumvirate, wherein they like make a revenge plan to get back at him because they all feel wronged by him and they all have been wronged by him.
I will say, Kate Upton has been wronged by him the least.
Yeah, I would agree. And then Cameron Diaz after that, because they've known each other for 2 months. And
Right,
then,
but,
and
like,
then after that, like Leslie Mann is like the real serious victim here.
Well,
like,
that's kind of my problem with the whole movie is that like they frame this movie around Cameron Diaz as if she is like the main character. Leslie Mann is the main character of this movie.
They frame Cameron Diaz as the main character?
Dude, yeah, of course they do.
Why? Because they come in on her first?
Not only because they come in, first of all, top billing. First of all, second of all, because they come in on her first, and third of all, if you ever watch like any of the scenes when all three girls are together, she's always in the middle. It's so the eyes always directed towards her.
I think she's in the middle because it's in chronological order.
I don't think that's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I strongly disagree. I think Leslie Mann is.
Like, I mean, she should be
who
the
they
main
frame
character.
it around, but I think. The other thing, so we were saying like Leslie Mann's kind of the most wrong, just in terms of the cheating, because it's like
not just the cheating, the lying, the embezzlement.
Well, that's what I'm going. So we also find out that he has been giving her papers to sign that she doesn't look at because they're her husband and she trusts him and whatever else.
And she's a dum-dum.
No, she's actually like we find out that she's the one giving him all the business ideas that he's been making all this money off of.
Right.
But she doesn't, like, he gives her these incredibly complex contracts to sign, and it's her husband, and she's like, well, yeah, why not? Sure. So she signs all this shit, and we find out that he has been embezzling from, like, the companies he works with or whatever, and funneling money to companies where he has named her CEO, so everything is...
In offshore accounts.
In offshore accounts. So she, if it ever comes back on him, it comes back on her, and she goes to jail, and he's scot-free. But they're marital assets, so, like, he has access to all the money, I guess.
He's mark-free.
What the fuck did you just do?
Well, his name's Mark. His name's not Scott. So, I mean, like, he's not Scott-free. He's Mark-free.
Apologize.
I will not.
Okay. So we find out that he is, as if the cheating was not enough, he is actually a monstrous piece of shit.
Right.
Who is setting her up to potentially go to jail if shit ever comes back on him. And he's stealing millions and millions of dollars, right?
Several millions of dollars.
I don't know. Generally, I kind of love the movie because it's like it's stacks you against him, like in a nice way. Like he's like,
he's clearly the bad guy. There's very few redeeming qualities about him.
And none of the mistresses are the bad guys. No. Like they all like kind of come together. Like he fucked you over. He fucked me over. He fucked you over. He fucked me over.
Right. There's maybe a slight moment, but very few and far between where like the mistresses are like, fuck you, you did this to me.
Like contentious with each other even a little bit. Yeah, I totally agree.
Which
Kate
is nice.
Least of all.
Well,
she's like along for the ride in a very funny way.
Right. That's actually one of my favorite parts of the movie where like they meet her for the first time and Leslie Mann's like, can we keep her?
Oh yeah.
As if she's like a dog.
Like a puppy they found. Yeah, it's very, very, very funny. Let's see.
I don't know. See, like the thing about this is that it's not like a particularly great movie. Like everything's kind of telegraphed. Like the second Cameron Diaz meets Leslie Mann's brother, you're like, oh, okay, so they're gonna end up together in the end. Spoilers. And even when Kate Upton meets Cameron Diaz's dad, I'm like, oh, okay, so they're gonna end up together.
But that's fine. I was okay with that. I didn't want I didn't want to witness a fucking budding romance.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying, like, it's just something that's set up, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is what's going to happen, and it does. But like, what happens in between is still funny and fun.
Do you know what I thought? Oh yeah. Well, the whole thing. I think that's one of the really endearing things about the movie is that it's like actually. It's a really dramatic, stressful, sad thing, right? That he's like this piece of shit and he's been cheating on his wife, that he's been cheating on the girlfriend with another girlfriend and whatever, right?
And then cheating on that girlfriend, we find out, with many other girlfriends.
Right. But like, we find out that like, it's a really dramatic, like upsetting, horrible thing. And they keep it really fucking light and fun for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Another really funny thing I noticed was when they first track him to the beach house, I guess, where he's staying with Kate Upton before we even see Kate Upton.
Sure.
The Cameron Diaz lifting Leslie Mann up to see over the fence.
Yeah.
And Cameron Diaz and Leslie Mann being like, "Shit, no, he didn't. She drives a Jetta. Only hot young cute girls drive Jettas." She's like, "No, that's not." And then Cameron Diaz is like, "Fuck, I drove a Jetta."
Yeah. It's also about this time in the movie where Cameron Diaz like slumps into what she does in almost every movie, which is like really wacky slapstick. Like she's been slapped in the face by the dog and like falls backwards in the bushes or whatever. Which is not a bad thing.
No, like, I thought it was funny. I thought that was one of the things that we were just saying. Like, it keeps it light.
Right.
Like,
no, I'm saying that she's pretty good at that.
I thought you were going to say this is the point when they discover Kate Upton. This is the point in the movie where Cameron Diaz has been pretty removed from it. Like, she's pissed, but she's pretty removed from it.
And she loses her fucking
Then she
mind.
sees Kate Upton, and it's like, Leslie Mann says something like, it's not like you're defending your title. You're not like John McEnroe or something.
I am John McEnroe.
I am John McEnroe. And then she goes to sprint after Kate Upton.
She leaps over a fucking like a sand dune and like sprints after her.
It's pretty good. And I was like, Leslie Mann, at this point, once we meet Kate Upton and once they confront Kate Upton, Leslie Mann is so distant from Kate Upton at this point because she's like 2 women away from her at this point or whatever. And she's just really sweet with Kate Upton because Kate Upton's like just really nice. She's 22. She's young. She's really naive and shit.
I have a hard time believing that any of these women would actually be friends in real life.
No, but like, I thought it was just these characters specifically in the movie though. Like, I thought Kate, like, the character Kate, Leslie Mann, being like really sweet with Kate Upton, was really funny because at this point she's sweet with it because she's far removed from it. But now Cameron Diaz is more fucking like worked up because she's the one that she was being cheated on by, you know, like,
I got it.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Which is not telegraphed later when they go to the Bahamas and you see like him cheating on Kate Upton with that, like the brunette that he's seeing in the Bahamas or whatever.
Kate Upton doesn't really seem to give a shit.
She doesn't really seem to give a shit about a lot. To be fair, Kate Upton doesn't really, she's not a great actress.
She actually at one point though in the movie says like, she's like, oh dude, I don't really have any feelings. She actually says that. It was pretty funny. Like, we gotta give it out of both of us. But I mean, essentially they come back at him. They get their revenge through a bunch of different ways. They like, you know, they look into his bank dealings and they give him like a laxative so he has like a bunch of diarrhea.
Oh,
Leslie Mann starts putting estrogen in his morning smoothie, so he grows.
We get a little blue here, and you know what? I thought this movie was a little bit above it. Like all of like the poop jokes were. Just didn't need to happen.
Nah, I thought they were good. Like, because you want to see him suffer in some way, and I think it's a good way to make him suffer without, you know, like torturing him in a dark room somewhere or something. Like,
right, but I mean, like, just take his money away. Like, make
he's losing his hair and shit because she puts the hair.
The losing the hair is fine. It's just like the all of the poop stuff was just like,
there was like 5 minutes of poop stuff. It wasn't even that
5 minutes is a lot.
1, 2, 3 minutes, 2 to 3, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 full minute of poop.
Poop.
She knew poop. So they get back at him, and then they basically they go to the Bahamas. They track him down. They go to the bank. They rectify the bank shit so that Leslie Mann is not on the hook for it anymore. Leslie Mann then gives the money back to all the people he stole it from, but she keeps the marital assets that are hers. So basically, he has no money. She has half of everything they had, and they both avoid jail time because she gives back all the money that he stole.
Right.
And just to bring the movie, like the plot to a head, is they meet him at this boardroom meeting at the law firm that Cameron Diaz works at the very end, and there 3 of them are sitting there, and he gets locked in the room, and he's like, oh shit. And it's actually an awesome scene. I actually like the scene, like when it kind of like it wraps everything up. They call him an asshole. Leslie Mann asks for a divorce finally, right? She like lets on that she knows. Everyone lets on that they know.
Well, I mean, it's hard to not know when 3 of your lovers are sitting there.
Right.
Lovers.
No, but I'm saying they've all known for some time now, and they've been faking it.
Right.
And he like freaks out. He has a temper tantrum. The best is the guy he stole the money from comes to the room, and then he goes to walk out of the room.
Oh yeah, and he walks into the glass, and his face just explodes.
His nose just explodes on a glass door that he like walks into without seeing, I guess. So his nose is broken.
Very clean door.
Like the Windex commercial from back in the day with the birds, right? With the birds.
Right, but like he's got like 8 squibs up there, and they just all pop at the same time. Yeah.
So then he goes out of there, and then he confirms that all of the money is gone from his bank account, and then he walks into another glass wall.
Before he like confirms that, he pushes a woman
by her face out of her chair to the ground,
which was a little funny.
Well, it was just like whoa, but it also confirms that he's a piece of shit,
right?
And then he checks that the money's gone. Then he walks straight at like good day, and then he walks through another glass door and he shatters an entire glass conference room.
Dead. Should be dead.
I thought he should have been more hurt. Matt thought he should have been dead, but
with all the shattered glass falling on him.
It was funny.
Just cutting major arteries.
He then walks outside. His car gets towed away.
Because of course it does.
And then Don Johnson comes up to him and punches him in his broken nose.
Because, Don Johnson exactly knows where he's going to be at any given time.
100%. I totally gave
and
this
then
movie
he
that
and then he
benefit of the
says,
doubt.
"That's why you hire a plumber." And I'm just like, okay, this has been several weeks since that's happened. I mean, I would imagine several weeks.
No,
right?
but it's also, I thought that was a fun nod because the whole time they're saying like Don Johnson's kind of a cheat and he keeps getting like he's gone through 5 wives or whatever, and he's like a philanderer or whatever, right? And that's
philanthropist.
A you know what?
Are they the same thing? They're the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but I thought that was like a nod to like Don Johnson's like been cheating for many, many years, and he's just kind of a philanderous sort of guy.
And he's like, this is how you do it, right?
Like if you had called a plumber, like
Right.
you wouldn't have been,
But like it wasn't actually a burst pipe, so.
No, I know, but if he had said like, oh, like I'm gonna call a plumber instead of like I have to go up there,
right?
Then she would have never come to find him. And
I'm gonna fight you on that one. I think it was just like this is for hurting my baby girl.
Oh no, I totally think so, but I also think it was like a not. I don't know. I thought it was like and you're a fucking amateur. Like here's how you would cover this up. You want to talk soundtrack quick?
There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. I don't say that very often, but like there was a couple songs. They do a cover of "Love Is a Battlefield" in there, which is great. Which is the second time we've heard that. What 13 Going on 30 had that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, "Love Is a Battlefield's in there. I don't know who sings it, but Bubble Butt. That's in there.
Yeah, that's in there.
What was the other one?
New York, New York.
The Mission Impossible song.
The Mission Impossible
when they're like
track.
gonna go do clandestine surveillance of him. And Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Once the three of them come together and they're like colluding against him.
Right.
There's
a short montage
with Girls Just Want to Have Fun where they're planning his demise, which is kind of funny in itself.
Sure.
They all end up pretty happy. Cameron Diaz ends up with Leslie Mann's brother.
I will say that I do not care for the movie trope where like they show text at the end of the movie to wrap up everyone. Like
they show like a still photograph of them, and it's like Mark went on to rule the world.
Right. In my eyes, it's always show, not tell. Like, don't tell me what happened. Just show me what happened.
Like they just ran out of budget.
Right. It's like, oh, this movie kind of ran a little long. Let's just wrap this up clean.
But Leslie Mann goes on to be the CEO of the company, makes a lot of money.
Right.
What's her name? Cameron Diaz.
Ends up with Leslie Mann's brother.
They end up happy together.
And Kate Upton ends up with Cameron Diaz's dad. Traveling the world.
Donnie Johns. There, I did it. Hey, good night, everybody. So, I mean, that was pretty good. I didn't really like. Did you have a favorite character?
I would say Leslie Mann.
I think Leslie Mann for sure too. I think she stole the
limelight. The
movie, she stole the
spotlight.
Movie. Yeah, she really did. It was about her. All of the lights. I thought she was funny and cute and like relatable.
I will admit, and you said it earlier, but she's always just Leslie Mann.
Yeah, but she's great. Turns out she's great. I don't give a shit when actors do that when they're great.
Sure.
Like they're, it's not like she's like, "Where's my Emmy?"
Right.
She's not like holding out for an Emmy and always being herself. Like she's just doing a really good job.
Well,
and
I mean, like
funny.
Oscar, like Emmy is like the ugly redheaded stepchild of the Oscar.
Oh God. Good night, everybody.
Anyway, so I would think that she's probably my favorite character.
Why do you think this is considered a chick flick?
I don't know. It's all about female empowerment.
It's like, yeah, I think it's 3 women like finding themselves and like not defining themselves by a dude and like
I think they were defining themselves by a dude, and then they find a way to.
I think
undefined, de-defined.
I think Leslie Mann had kind of defined herself by her marriage.
Sure.
I don't know.
There's a scene right after she finds out that he's been cheating on her, where she's in like the grocery store and seeing all these other like
she's like
soccer moms.
What am I now?
Yeah, right.
I don't think Cameron Diaz and Kate Upton were quite there.
That's fair.
But I think it was like I think Leslie Mann's character for sure, like her whole life was her marriage, and I think it was like kind of her coming out of that. Realize that there's
she was coming out. She wanted the world to know. She had to let it show. Right. That's another song that was on this soundtrack.
That was also in Made in Manhattan.
Right.
They danced to it in Made in Manhattan.
A lot of connections here.
Briefly.
Can you hold that steady?
Sorry.
We are doing something here.
Sorry. The boom mic operator is really fucking falling asleep on the job.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark. Mark. Yeah. Mark, you're fired. I felt like I was I was trying to do two voices.
Yeah, it was doing. You were doing bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So, what about?
I don't think this movie has died. Even a little bit.
I've never seen it ever.
It's still kind of new. It's only like 4 years old.
I guess that's fair.
It was on HBO for a bit. Like first, it might honestly currently be on HBO.
I'll tell you right now, this is a movie that I could imagine being on like TBS or USA in like a couple years.
Yeah, 100%.
Like a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
there's not a lot that they have to censor. Actually, I don't think they have to censor anything. Now that I think
maybe
about
the word vagina, because apparently that's hot button.
Or like all the poopy.
No, the poopy's fine.
Is the poopy?
No,
fine?
they can show poopy on TV all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they can talk about
poop.
Okay. So.
The movie shouldn't have died.
No, I thought it was great. I thought it was really good.
No, I thought it was
fun. What have not we talked about? Oh, the bed.
The bet.
So who won the bet, Matt?
I mean, I don't honestly know.
Oh, okay.
You were marking it down as we were
keeping. So we had two separate tallies going this whole time. One was drinks, and one was
the amount of times they said the
number
word
of times
vagina.
they said vagina. Turns out they said vagina one time.
Unless we missed it, but I really believe. You know what? Someone let us know, because there's no way. I really feel like we didn't miss it.
Yeah, I don't think we did either.
One time.
Number of scenes where at least one of them is drinking. 14. And what was your bet, man?
I said 20.
I said 10. Who is closest without going over?
Me? Math is hard.
You know that's wrong, right?
All right.
So anyway, I won the bet.
Okay.
I will decide the next movie, although
I don't care for it.
I'm considering making my choice, like a poll. Like I might do a Twitter poll or like a... We'll see.
An Insta poll.
Like maybe I'll choose a couple of things that I would like, and then maybe I'll make it a Twitter poll or an Insta poll or both.
Mm-hmm. Can I vote in the polls?
No.
I mean, they're
said
anonymous,
no.
but they're anonymous, so you won't know. Maybe I'll just make like a bunch of fake email accounts and just vote in the poll.
Well, they're still all going to be things that I like.
Oh, okay.
Like none of them.
That's fun.
None of them will be torturous, monstrous bullshit. So I'm just saying.
I mean, as far as you know.
Yeah. As far as I know.
Okay, so that's the bet. That's
last
great.
thing, I think the last thing we didn't touch on is...
No, there's a couple things we didn't touch on. Where would you rank this movie?
Oh,
in the movie, in the context of the movies that we've watched so far.
I think this is above 13 going on 30.
I would agree with that.
I think it's below Pretty Woman, below Devil Wears Prada, and probably below Clueless. So I think it's number 4. I'm not saying what those 3 are above it, like in what order those are, but those 3 are definitely above it. This is number 4, and then the other 5 are
shifted
this.
down.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that this is number 3 for me.
What are above it? What are the 2 above it?
Number 1 is Devil Wears Prada.
Okay, still.
Number 2 is Number 2 is the first one we watched. What can I think of the movie?
Pretty Woman?
Pretty Woman, yeah.
Okay.
And number 3 is this. I think this shifts everything else down one spot.
Okay. So what's your last? I don't need to know the whole thing in order.
The very last?
Yeah, what's the worst?
Made in Manhattan.
Yeah, I honestly think Made in Manhattan's my worst also.
Because, and we've gone over this, but because What Women Want made me actually, like, angry. It made me feel something. Made in Manhattan was just...
It made me feel nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I mean, that's we're kind of on the same page. We're both just kind of shoving it towards the top end of the...
Yeah, I don't love Clueless the way you do. That's very middling for me.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's nice that we did, like, kind of a newer one. And I like that you liked it as much as you did.
Oh, yeah.
How did the critics feel about it? How did it do?
Not great. Honestly, I checked the Rotten Tomato scores before we started, and the tomato meter is at a 25%, which is less than Spice World.
That's incredible.
And less than Crossroads, I think.
Do you think critics have gotten harder in the last 15, 20 years? Like, is that a possible explanation?
Yeah, I would imagine that's part of it. I mean, if I'm gonna read the explanation of why it's so low, it says that that everyone's very talented, but hang on. Oh, that there was a lot of like lowbrow jokes in it that could have been better.
I guess so, but I think like lowbrow...
Which is what actually kind of my problem with...
Lowbrow just make it seem sillier, but they don't make it seem worse to me. Like, yeah, I get it, but if that's like really the only reason listed, like I still don't see the 25.
Sure, it's pretty low.
What about audience score?
57.
Okay.
So far above.
That's almost fresh.
A lot of...
Is that fresh?
No.
But it's not rotten either.
It's not good. Think about it like any test you've taken in high school. What's a passing grade there?
Yeah, 50 is passing.
No.
No, I mean like half of the answers right is...
Nope. 65 passing. You did very poorly in high school, didn't you?
I really did. So, all right. So, but 57 is like, as far as Rotten Tomatoes goes, it's not horrifying. It's not like, oh, we're never going to watch that.
But it's not horrifying, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I would disagree with both these ratings.
Yeah, I would too. I think I put this movie.
It was fun enough.
I think it's fun. I think it's like an 80. I would give it an 80.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very high.
80%. So maybe 75. Maybe 7, like C+. C+ territory.
Low 70s, I would say.
Like it's films.
70.
As far as this genre goes, this is like really up there for me though. Okay. I mean, I don't know. So overall, you liked it. Would you recommend it?
Yeah.
I would tell people to watch the movie. I think it's fun. Like if it was on TV, I'd be like, ooh,
there's a lot of pretty girls in it.
Ooh, go back.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. But like if you're flipping through, right, and it's like nothing's really on, they're like, ooh, other woman. Yeah, go back. Yeah, I'll watch the other one.
On the same level that like I watch like Devil Wears Prada when it's on TV, I'll be like, oh, this one's fine. I can watch this.
Yeah. Get into the crowd.
You just had to sing at least once this episode, huh? Okay, so what about... Should this have died? No, we did that. Rank and recommend. Did people like this? Oh, that's everything.
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow, we kind of nailed it.
It was a really good movie. I liked it a lot. I'm glad I picked this. I went with this. What?
No, I was going to say, did we discuss the beer? We did that.
We did discuss the beer. We did all the things. So
all right, Garrett.
I'm going to pick the next one, whether it's by poll or,
Bipolar?
Unilateral. By poll. By single poll.
By one poll. Not by several polls.
P-O-L-L.
Not P-O-L-E.
Like I'm up in the polls, sort of thing.
Like a Muppet in polls.
Nailed it. So that's it for Drunk Guys on Chick-Flicks.
Say it again. Start over. So that's it for Drunk Guys on Chick-Flicks.
Thank you so much for listening. If you want to find us at DGOCF on Twitter, Drunk Guys on Chick-Flicks on Instagram, drunkguysonchickflicks at gmail.com. There is no Facebook because it's for old people.
There is a Facebook. You just don't know what it is.
That's too bad. Drunk Guys on chickflicks.com.
That'll take you to our Podbean site where you can listen to us there. You can find us anywhere that podcasts are heard.
Just Google. Google's probably good. Or probably just ask a friend. Tell a friend. Ooh, tell a friend.
Ooh, tell a friend.
All right. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Have a good one.